Hey everybody. It's been a long while, hasn't it? I wanted to come on here to try to do try to do something I've been try again to do something that I have been trying. Oh, good lord, for the past year, it was just to make an update. And finally I just said, heck it. I'm gonna go ahead and just record directly onto YouTube. I've recorded countless countless attempts on my phone. And when I went to either attempt to edit it or to upload it or this or that or the other, enter BS excuse here. It ended up. Whoops, sorry. My cord was plugged in to the wall, as you can see, and it was getting a little caught up. Anyway, sorry. I'm changing around so you can actually see my face because of the lighting. But after many attempts and many failures to do it, I decided I'm just going to do this. One of the things that you should know is I am living somewhere differently than I was a year ago. Last summer, long story short, my landlord finally said, okay, we're going to go ahead and move everybody to a new house that we're not yet finished fixing up yet. And I said, oh, okay. So I went looking like that day, and immediately I found a place that was looking for a roommate, less rent, nicer place to live. I said, how you doing? So I ended up moving out of there, and into where I live now. I'm in the garage of this place. That's one of my roommate's stuff. That's all. That's my stuff. That's something else I wanted to tell you about. One of the things I wanted to do, this is a very nice house, by the way, very nice house. Not only does it have a garage, but it has a very spacious area in the house itself, much bigger than the last place I lived in. And my roommates are decent folk. Or roommate, I should say. I did have two roommates, one of which, unfortunately, several months ago, was in a horrific motor vehicle accident. I made a brief post about him on my Facebook page, so those who actually know me know what's going on, know what I speak. But for those of you who have no clue, he was a college student here at Oklahoma State University. He was riding on his motorcycle to work, and according to what what witnesses said and what investigations have determined, he did everything right. However, while he was going somewhere around, I'm guessing the speed limit, which was 55 in this particular area, a dump truck was coming out into traffic and was supposed to have stopped at a stop sign. He decided, I do what I want, and decided to cross traffic regardless of my roommate coming head on at 55 miles an hour in a motorcycle. My roommate just tried his best to swerve around, and unfortunately was not successful. Hit the tail end of the dump truck and is now he was fighting for his life, but he has managed to improve dramatically. Some of his basic motor skills and other things are eliminated, if not extremely limited. He can't really speak, but maybe a couple of words from what I've heard, and that was only after several months. But he is still improving. Regardless of how bad things have gone, he is still dramatically improving, which I am not surprised about. This guy, I only knew him for a couple of months, but from what I knew of him, I'm not surprised at all. He's in college. He's a stereotypical 20-something-year-old kid, and not only is he too damn stubborn to let this keep him down, but he wants to live his life desperately. He wanted to even before all this, so I have no doubt he will be, in the long run, much better off than he is right now. Either way, my other roommate, he is actually not exchange student. He's a foreign student from Kuwait. A hell of a guy. He's lived in Kuwait pretty much his whole life. He's only been in the United States for a couple of years. But when you hear him speak, you think he was raised in Texas his whole life. Like, you've only been in the United States for a couple of years. How come you? Where did you learn English? But either way, he's a real good guy. He is back home right now in Kuwait for the semester. Excuse me. He's actually due back in a couple of weeks. But while he was here, and while we were doing, while we were living together at the time, he, I ended up introducing him to a hobby of mine, and he's deeply into it. So, unfortunately, this hobby typically requires going elsewhere to participate. Specifically, it is playing the game of craps. Of course, I taught him how to be careful when doing such. Don't just go with the rent money kind of thing. Only play with what you can lose. And in fact, if you can, play at home where you won't lose anything. If you like the game, great. Just play at home. Play online on free things. But if you have some money and you're feeling a little gutsy, all right, go ahead. Either way. So I decided I think I'd make a little rig here in the setup in the garage. Now to practice playing. I've never made a damn thing with wood in my life. I haven't even put together IKEA furniture. I've never even been to IKEA. Now I've bought Walmart put together, furniture you put together from Walmart. I've done that. That is it. That was the extent of my experiment. So, as is common with many people, I as well decided to jump on YouTube and looked up just what it took to make something like just a table rig or whatever. And lo and behold, I came across something that I'd never imagined that I would ever enjoy, let alone I would ever find, let alone enjoy. There's a couple of guys on YouTube who talk about making things with wood, and they're describing it, what it takes, and how it's pretty simple, and looking like, holy crap, I can do that. That looks like fun too. So they were talking about how you can find a lot of these tools that you end up, first of all, these tools that you think you need, you don't. You need a few things, but that's about it. And that's if you really get into it. Don't go blowing crap tons of money if you don't have to. Just buy cheap. No law saying all your tools have to be the same color. And then he said, I have a list that, just an example list of what you can buy. And if you got everything on this list, it's everything you need and it's under $1,000. I'm like, well, I'm sure glad it's under 1,000. Anyway, I went looking at some of the items that were on the list, and they're all brand new from either Amazon or Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever. And I thought, I wonder if I can get those just used instead. So I went looking on Facebook Marketplace, went looking on Craigslist, and got a hell of a deal on a lot of things. Most of which you can see back here. Most of it, altogether, was about $100. Like, okay, I could spare 100. I don't know if you can't really tell. Sorry. I have to hold the phone while I unplug. But look over here. See this right here? Table saw, right? Just an average table saw. Found it online for $50. Okay. Turns out it wasn't just table saw. It was this whole rig. The metal part, the receiving table, all this thing for $50. And I'm going, I can't fit that in my car. Oh, speaking of which, I got another car. No more minivan. I now have a Dodge Journey. Still Dodge. Yes, no more Grand Caravan. But it's still a 7-seater, including the driver. So I can still fit as many people as I had in the van, technically. Of course, as anybody who ever ridden my van knows that I sometimes had more in there. Anyway, so that was not, this whole rig was not going to fit in my, this car wouldn't have fit. Well, I might have gotten it to fit in the van. Maybe, I don't know, but still, it definitely sure as heck wasn't going to fit in that. So, the guy who was selling it was very nice. He and I loaded it on a flatbed that he had. He towed it from his, behind his truck to my house. It was still in town, so, and if anybody knows this town, Stillwater, it's about maybe 10 minutes from one end to the other, but still, not the point. He didn't have to do that for $50. So I was incredibly grateful. So after I bought that, I then went and got this miter saw. Again, went looking online. Somebody wanted 30 for it. What you're hearing, turn that off. Sorry, I didn't think that would actually come on as sound. That's my job, my shopping job that I do for shopping for people. It's telling me I got work to do. Anyway, long story short, I'm going to go on my first project. It's going to be making actual workbench. This right here is intended as a workbench. This receiving table, but I'm going to make my own. I'm going to see if I can actually do this. If this is something I truly enjoy, something I can do in the long term, something that I can then use, skills I can use to make that practice table, I may have myself a brand new hobby. But got the lumber the other day, yesterday in fact, and I'm ready to go. All right, guys, you take care. When I'm done with the table, hopefully I'll even show you what it looks like. But I got work to do. Take care.